Okay, Chris, the big news coming out of the academy in the last couple of weeks is that 6 more scholars have signed on with professional deals. How pleasing is it from your point of view to see another batch of players being rewarded with professional contracts?
Yeah, we're really pleased, and obviously the lads have worked tremendously hard. Not only the 2 years in their scholarship, but over their duration of time with the club. And there's a large chunk of those boys who have been with us from right from the early ages, from under 7s, 8s, 9s, and a couple of the boys. Charlie joined us a little bit later. But no, you're always pleased, and when players progress on through. But it's the start of another beginning for them now. They've got to work really hard to try and break into that first team environment and that first team squad. But as a group of staff, we're proud and pleased as to where they've got to so far.
Of course, it's not just those 6, is it? Because David Cisse and Ashley Charles both signed their pro deals a year early, or kind of halfway through their 2-year scholarship as well. So does that for you underline even further the talent that exists within the academy here, and also your kind of belief in their potential?
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt we've got some talented players right across our academy, and for them to be rewarded and for the club to see the potential that they've got, it's fantastic for everyone connected with the club, from a staff point of view, from a player point of view, that there is the belief that we can continue to produce players that will go and step out into the first team environment and here at the stadium. So we're really pleased for both Ashley and David, but it's the hard work starts for them again. It never stops in terms of their development and where they want to get to.
What is it that you look for when deciding which players to offer professional contracts to? Because presumably there's more, there are many factors involved, not just technical ability.
Yeah, there's a huge number of factors involved. I mean, obviously you want them to be able to compete at the highest level. We're producing players to not only go and play in our first team, but we want them to go on further, and it be recognised internationally as well. So there's a huge amount that goes in, not only from a technical point of view, tactical, psychological, social, but we look at them as people, and do they want to improve? How much do they want to improve? Have they got the right attitude? Are they the 24-hour professionals that we want them to be, and that they live and breathe the game of football? Because that's what it is now. It's a way of life. So there's a huge amount, but obviously we work really hard with them every day to get them to the level across all 4 corners or 5 corners of the coaching spectrum to help them achieve where they want to go to.
And I guess the flip side of that is that inevitably some players have to be released. How difficult a decision is that, and how big a part does the club and the academy play in kind of helping those players and looking after their next steps? Yeah,
I have to say it is the hardest part to tell a young player, whether it's one of our youngest players or an under 21 or an under 18, that their Watford journey and their Watford involvement has come to an end. So it's an immensely difficult time, and we involve a huge amount of people in the selection process. But we play a key role now in helping them try and secure their futures away from the club, whether that's still in football at another club, or whether they go and seek other avenues within life, whether that's full-time employment, into college, or even into coaching. They complete a huge amount as part of their scholarship and their 2 years with us. So we'll work really hard to help them and shape what their future looks like. And I have to say, for the boys that weren't offered contracts this year, how professional they were, and a credit to themselves and to us in the way that they took the news when we sat down with them one-to-one and had those meetings with them. They were a credit to everyone involved.
Let's talk again briefly about those 6 scholars who have been offered or have signed professional contracts, starting with Nathan Gartside, the goalkeeper. He's had a very impressive season and has been rewarded. He's spent much of the past year travelling with the first team.
Yeah, Nathan was somebody that I went and saw as a 15-year-old over in Northern Ireland. Saw him, representing Northern Ireland under 16s, under 17s on a few occasions, and we decided to bring him in at the start of his scholarship. And really it was a whirlwind. His first day, he went away with the first team on pre-season tour, and then obviously this year he's had the opportunity to travel with the first team a huge amount of times, and build up that experience. So it's been fantastic for him. He's got a fantastic attitude. He's technically, he's improving, he's getting better every single day, and we're looking forward to seeing how he progresses next year.
The 2 central defenders who have signed on as well, Charlie Rowan and Connor Stevens, what are their kind of main attributes and strengths?
Yeah, both really good defenders, 2 centre halves. They like to get the ball down and play, but also will, head it, kick it, and do the ugly side of the game as well. But both are really good listeners, and really good in terms of wanting to improve and wanting to get better. Fantastic attitudes to want to improve within their games individually and then collectively as a unit. And them and with Andrew and Brandon, they've formed a really good partnership across the back four, playing for the under-18s this year. But they're good, strong centre-backs who first and foremost defend and then look to try and play and set up attacks from there.
You mentioned there Andrew Eleutherio and Brandon Mason, both defenders who are most comfortable in the full-back positions, is that correct?
Yeah, it's Andrew right full-back, Brandon left full-back. Slightly different in terms of the way they play. Brandon's slightly more an attacking full-back, but it is equally very good as defending in those 1v1 situations. Andrew, would be fair to say, is more of your out-and-out defender. He's 1v1, not many people get past him, and he's another one. And to be fair to both Brandon and Andrew, there again, we talked about earlier about attitudes and wanting to get better and wanting to improve, and both of them have really come on, across the 2 years in their scholarship. So again, we'll be interesting to see how far they develop now in the under-21s.
And finally, midfielder Ryle Ovenden, and he's a product of the effective kind of scouting and recruitment system you have within the academy.
Yeah, Ryle joined us a little bit later. He's obviously a Wales youth international, but he joined us, halfway during his scholarship. Central midfield player who likes to get forward, but also will break up play and very neat and tidy in possession, and sets up a lot of attacks and controls the game very well. So he's an exciting prospect, as they all are for the future, and we'll be keeping a very close eye on in the season to see how they progress.
Still lots of hard work ahead for each of these players. What is it that you're kind of particularly looking for from them for the next season? Will they be involved in under-21s and perhaps looking for loan spells? Are there any specifics that you set for those players?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's very much individualised, so we do work with the players individually and what's right for them at a certain moment in their development, and that may be, with the under-21s, with Harry and the staff, and working with them on a daily basis, whether that's in with the first team, training with them, hopefully playing with them, or whether it is, a loan opportunity elsewhere. So we've got in our minds, where they need to be and how they're going to get there, but football can change on a daily basis, and if they improve at a quicker rate than we'd expected, then they will take a different path. So what we are looking is they continue the good work that they've done, continue to build on the development, and to become even better footballers, to break into the squad here.
Just finally, preparations are kind of underway now for the club's second season in the Premier League. How does that step up, and how has it affected the academy here, being a part of a top flight club rather than the Championship?
Yeah, well, obviously, we went to Category 2 almost this time last year, and obviously, with the club's promotion to the Premier League, it's helped. We're able to enhance our programme. Premier League clubs do get access to a lot more in terms of what we can do and what we can offer. So it's been fantastic to be involved and have the Premier League support now moving forward. But every day we want to get better. Every day we want to improve what we deliver and what we give to our young players. So we'll strive to do that, whichever division we're playing in. But we're looking forward to now that second season, and seeing what it brings.